Hi, everyone, and welcome to Inside AWAI. My name is Rebecca Matter, and today you're joining us for Ask Us Anything about your copywriting career, as well as some tips that we're going to give you for a successful year. We want to make sure that 2018 is your best year as a writer. I'm joined today by Katie Yako, my partner. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Rebecca. Hi, everybody.
As well as our Director of Training, Pam Foster. Hi, Pam.
Hi. Welcome, everybody.
And so normally during these sessions, we have very specific purpose. We believe in what's called the power of one. We give you, we focus the webinar on one specific thing, whether it's how to bring clients to you, how to get your foot in the door, how to be a better writer, whatever it is. But we thought we'd kick off the new year just with wanting to hear from you. What is it that you need? This is our third year, actually, of doing Inside AWAI. If this is your first time, we get together monthly and just try to keep teaching you things and opening opportunities to you that will move the chains and help you move forward in your business. So what we're going to do today is basically, we all have three of our tips. If we were to look at the year, knowing all that we know about being in this industry and working with copywriters so much, if we were to each give you three tips, what would they be? So we'll start by giving you those, and then we'll just go ahead and open up for questions. So if you have questions along the way, feel free to post them in the Q&A. If you want to wait till the end, that's okay as well. And what we'll start doing is we'll answer some of them in the Q&A if it's a quick answer. And if not, if you see us skip over your question, it's just because we want to make sure that we have time to discuss it at the end. It might warrant more than a quick response. So feel free to post questions all the way through or wait to the end, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you prefer. And with that, Pam, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to kick off with you.
Okay. All right. And we already started having some questions, so I was over there answering. Boy, this is going to be a great session because the questions are fantastic already.
Yay.
All right, so I have to ignore those for a minute, though, so I can tell you my three tips, and then I'll go back into the question part. So if you know me at all, if you've heard anything I've ever done, you'll know that I am very focused on helping you find your path to getting clients. And in order to do that, it is my opinion, and there are other opinions out there, but I've seen it work if you choose a niche industry. So you find yourself focusing on clients in one particular industry. And the reason I advocate this, and it's not ultimately necessary, it's not like do or die, but it sure can make a difference. Clients out there are looking for writers who understand their industry. Whenever I do a talk, I look online at all the job sites, such as Indeed.com or SimplyHired.com, and I just type in the word copywriter, and I see what shows up. And all the job postings are generally looking for someone with a specific industry background. So, for example, if somebody is a retailer, like one of the big retailers, like, I don't know, pick any one of the big retailers out there, but they want someone with retail industry knowledge. And if somebody has a fashion background or retail sales, they'd rather have that person than someone who's never worked in that industry, because then they don't have to teach the copywriter about the industry. And I've worked in the veterinary industry for a long time because I used to work for a couple of companies in that industry, so I know it really well. And when I meet a new prospect or work on a new project, I already know so much about the industry. It's much easier for everyone, the client, me, and it makes everything go very smoothly. Plus, you'll stand apart from all of the other copywriters out there. There are many who, are promoting themselves these days and showing up in Google searches. And, so if a client is looking in a specific industry, for example, a chiropractor who's running a busy practice may type in copywriter for chiropractors or chiropractor copywriter. And if you happen to be a copywriter that focuses on that industry, you'll show up in the results on page 1. Same deal for industrial B2B manufacturing. One of our very successful members of AWAI is Steve Maurer, and he owns the top results in Google because his whole website and his whole focus is on B2B manufacturing. Same with if you're a financial copywriter, fitness copywriter. We have a member who's a craft beer copywriter. So it really pays to position yourself in a specific industry that you're interested in, or you have a background in, ideally, because you'll show up more often and you'll be chosen more often in search results. And there's a myth out there that, oh my gosh, if I limit myself to one industry, I'm limiting my opportunity. That's so not the case anymore, because so many industries have lots and lots of clients with all kinds of work, whether it's trade journals that need someone to write journal articles and blog posts, to companies that are selling products through e-commerce and need, website copy. So I really recommend that you find an industry that you can focus on, and then you'll be one of just a handful of copywriters that show up when clients are looking, and they'll be so happy to find you. Plus, you'll get to work on fun projects instead of just random projects where you don't know something about the industry, or you might not be comfortable with it, or you might not think it's fun. You get to pick. I get to work with people who love animals, and to me that's a blast. You might have a hobby or an interest such as kayaking or helping children, whatever it is. That industry is something you're passionate about or interested in, or you've had a career in, and you get it. So that's my number one tip. Choose a niche industry, focus your client attraction efforts on that, and it will go a long way. Tip 2 is tied to the, I wanted to show you some of these first of all. I got so excited I forgot. I want to show you some examples. So we have the travel copywriter on the left. We have a craft beer copywriter in the middle on the top there, which is so much fun. Imagine how much fun it is to write about craft beer all day, if that's something that's a hobby of yours. This gentleman I happen to know, and he travels around in an RV to different cities and visits microbreweries. So he is the perfect person to write for those kinds of companies. Then we have on the bottom middle, Jen, who is a software copywriter, and she has amazing content all over her website that talks to software marketers. That's her audience, and when clients type in software marketing copywriter in Google, she shows up. And then on the right, we have petcopywriter.com, which is Dr. Tammy Powell, a veterinarian. She owns that space. So it's kind of cool to niche yourself, if that can be a verb, and then really own that market, that industry. So tied to picking an industry, you also want to look into trade associations, because those are gold mines. So if I was going to pick one tip, I'd say join a trade association, become part of it, see if you can write for them, go to their conferences, immerse yourself in that world. Every single niche that you can think of will have at least one trade association, many times even more. Like in the medical device world or sports, there are several. But it's a great place to find clients, because if you go to the trade association website, you'll see that companies pay to be sponsors that are seen on the website, or they're going to be exhibiting at trade show events, or they place ads in the journal. So trade associations will basically show you the clients. They'll lead you to clients who are obviously paying money to advertise to the members. Also, annual conferences, if they have an annual conference, there's usually an exhibit hall with different vendors who are showing their wares, and all of those people have paid big bucks to be there. So they believe in advertising and marketing. They believe in getting in front of their audiences. So you can help them do that with copy. You'll also know the lingo. You'll understand the trends that are happening in that industry. You'll understand what the concerns are of members of the industry, whether they're business people trying to sell to other business people, B2B, or they're business people trying to reach consumers in a very competitive market. You'll understand that if you're immersed in that trade association. And then you'll understand prospects, because they talk about them all the time. Like in the pet world again, the Pet Grooming Association is 100% focused on helping pet groomers battle the competition from the big box stores that are now adding grooming services. And because I'm immersed in that market, I get that, and if I'm writing something for pet groomers, I'm going to have that inside knowledge. So you really want to do this, because it's so great to be an ally with clients where you understand their struggles and their wishes and the lingo and all that good stuff. You can also see if you can write for their trade association website or their journal. I write for a veterinary journal and a veterinary business magazine. Those are all because I'm part of a trade association. And I get to write every month. It's ongoing, regular work, and they pay me very nicely, and I'm very excited about that. This is what I do on my freelance side so that I can tell you how it all works. Yes, I work at AWAI, but I also do freelance on the side so I can keep up and tell you what's going on today with clients. And then finally, in trade associations, you also might connect with web companies and graphic designers and other suppliers to that industry. For example, the medical device world, there are medical device marketing agencies and web companies that specialize in that, and they may need writers. So again, that focus is amazing, and trade associations open the door to that whole world for you. Here's what I mean. There's just a couple examples here, but if you're interested in writing for the baby product world, there's a Baby Products Association, and that's one on the left. In the middle, we've got the National Association of Manufacturers, and that's all about business-to-business manufacturing companies. That's an incredible association if that's what you're interested in. And finally, on the right, we have the Sport Marketing Association. Boy, think about how much fun that would be to be part of if you're interested in writing for the sports niche. So just a couple of examples, and one really cool thing about those trade shows that associations put on, this is a veterinary example, but quite often they'll list their exhibitors online. Now think about that. You don't have to go hunting for clients. There's a whole list right here. Bada boom, bada bing. I happen to know that they usually have around 750 exhibitors each year. It's a massive annual trade show. So right there, if you're looking for clients, here's 750 clients you could potentially work for. Ta-da! That's why I love trade associations, and I get very excited talking about them, as you can tell. All right. The third tip is to have a great website. You may have a website right now, but dust it off, polish it up. If you've decided to choose a niche, make sure the copy is written to the client in that industry and demonstrate that you understand their market. All roads ultimately lead to your website. Some people have kind of bypassed having a website to do a LinkedIn profile or Facebook instead, and that's fine, but a big caution on that is that Facebook and LinkedIn can change the way they feed information to anyone on there. Facebook just did a major change. So if you're counting only on social media to reach clients, that's a little bit risky, and you want to have your own website that you own and that you can control the content on. So a great website is one that shows your copywriting skills and industry smarts just by the way you're presenting yourself in the content, from the home page, about page, all that. You can also showcase your work on a samples page. You can showcase testimonials from people who have worked with you. If you're just starting out, you can write some spec copy and put it up there as a writing sample. And it's a great way to prove your value in a way that you can control, and work it like you would if you were trying to attract someone at a trade show. Just what do? I write web content for the baby products industry, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I totally need that. But you have to make sure your web content is speaking to your prospect, which is the client. And if you do that, you will attract a lot of leads through Google, like I said, because your copy is speaking the language that the client is putting into Google to find you. So I mentioned Steve Maurer. Here's his website, and it's pretty obvious what he does and who he works for. Meet your B2B industrial copywriter. Content marketing, building B2B trust. And then on the right, industrial B2B content and copywriting. Is there any question here? Who he writes for and what he offers? No, it's very obvious. And so when people go into Google and type in B2B copywriter, B2B industrial copywriter, bing, there is Steve Maurer at the top. So that's my big 3 tips for making 2018 fantastic. And now I'm passing the baton to Katie because she has hers next. Okay, there you go, Katie. Oh, you there?
I'm here. Sorry,
That's okay.
I was muted in multiple places, and I was just in the middle of answering Carol's question. She's asking, I picked my niche, which is exciting, so congratulations on that, Carol. And now she needs to develop some samples, and she's asking, should I just write emails, blog posts, etc., for an imaginary company? And because I don't want this to get lost, but without knowing what your niche is, I don't think you necessarily have to go the imaginary route. I would pick a blog or a company that is in this niche and write some samples geared towards them. You don't have to, you don't want to imply that they were actually published or used, but I think if it's for a real company, it will be, it'll just have a little bit more meat to it, and it'll be a little bit more authentic in the writing that you're doing. So that would be my advice there. But now let's get on to my 3 tips for a successful 2018. And the first one is to learn something new every day. This is part of the beauty of being a copywriter. This is why so many people are drawn to it, because it is always stimulating your intellectual curiosity. It's constant. You're never done. You're never going to have learned it all. And that's what makes it exciting and rewarding and fulfilling. And when you think about in terms of learning something every new, there's a few buckets you might want to focus on. And now I think I'm going to cough too, so excuse me. Sorry. So the first one is you always want to be honing your writing skills. And because, again, no matter where you are today, you're going to get better, and you're going to get better. When I look back on things I wrote, years ago, even months ago, it's encouraging and a little humbling to see, what I thought was good back then, well, not so great now. But, I know that I'm a work in progress, and I always will be. So if you spend any time with Rebecca and me, and I hope you all will be joining us for the live companion series, which is starting in February, where we spend 10 weeks together, we're going to end pretty much every single session with part of your homework as write every day, because that is really the best gift you can give yourself. That's how you learn. That's how you develop your muscles. And you can write throughout most of our programs, especially some of these new programs that are offering certifications, there are specific assignments that you can write. So that's always a great that's a great route to follow. In the companion series, for instance, there'll be 2 assignments that you actually send in to us for feedback, but you're writing all along the way. But you can write in a journal every day. You can do sample ads every day. You can do blog posts. You can write self-promotion material. You can mix it up. You can write in a journal. The important thing is that you make it a habit. It's great, I think, if you can set aside the same amount of time every day, or 9 to 10 every morning is your sacred writing time. Everybody needs to know it. You're not to be disturbed. You turn off your phone, you turn off your email, and that's just where you write. That's a little aggressive. Whatever works for you. The important thing is it can be 15 minutes a day. We actually have writing prompts on our website just to help you get started with that. But like any great habit, once you commit to it on a regular basis, you're going to see terrific results. So that's number one as far as learning something every day. Then you want to learn new things about your niche, or whatever area you're thinking about now that you would like to specialize in, that you would like to build your business in. Be sure that you're involved in the conversations that are going on there. If you're interested in financial, you know, what's being talked about in the Wall Street Journal every day? What are the big investment gurus talking about every day? What are the hot topics? What are the things that are getting people excited or worried or nervous? And no matter what niche it is, if it's, you know, accounting, or if it's health, or whatever area you are interested in, there definitely is news happening, there's ideas being exchanged, and you want to be part of that, because all of this is going to influence the way that you come up with ideas, the way that you're talking to the people in this world. But then you want to go beyond your niche as well, too. And what's going on in the world, in the news? What are all the hot buttons? And, you know, there certainly are plenty of them right now. How do they, whatever is being talked by the general public, how does that influence conversations that you'll be having with your prospects, the people that you're writing to? What ideas can you take and apply to whatever conversations you're having? You know, when you think about AWAI and people wanting to live the writer's life, you know, there's so many conversations that are topical right now that we can start conversations about and can lead to more in-depth conversations about the opportunities that we offer. But you want to be current, and you want to keep having that input. And then finally, as far as learning something new every day, who's somebody that you can learn from? You know, when you think about all the resources at AWAI and all the teaching that we make available to you, try to learn something new from us, from our e-letters, from all of our experts, from the people that you meet in AWAI, your peers, your fellow writers. Everybody has something to teach us. We just have to be open to learning it. What about the masters? You know, go back and look at Ogilvy's and the Hopkins and the Capels, and there's so much to learn there. You know, give yourself, we have great reading lists on our website that can give you a syllabus, which is just a wonderful education. But you know, read 10 chapters or 10 pages of any of these classic books, and you're going to learn. You know, you're going to have a list of things that you're learning there. Study the current masters like Bob Bly and Clayton Makepeace and people that are great at communicating and teaching and sharing their expertise. So that's my number one tip. It's to challenge yourself to learn one thing at least new every single day. And there's lots of ideas, a way to do it. I think once you get in that mindset, you're going to find that you're learning, you know, way more than just one. But if you set that up as a goal for yourself, I think you'll really enjoy it, and it's going to make you a better writer. Number 2, build a support group. You know, being a freelance copywriter can be lonely. Most times you are writing by yourself. You know, there's plenty of opportunities to join writing teams and be part of that. But I would say the majority of our writers, of the people that come to AWAI, do end up working freelance, possibly by themselves. And especially when you're starting something new and something that not that many people know about or may not quite understand, really is important to build a team that is going to support you. And even if people don't necessarily get what it is, I have friends from high school that still don't know what it is that I do, and they're excited for me. They know it's something cool, but they're like, oh, tell me one more time, what is it? And that's great and that's fine, but I know that if I got down or got discouraged or whatever, I could go to them and they would remind me of all the great things that come out of being involved in AWAI. And that's just one example, but, you know, so somebody in your family, you definitely want to steer clear. This group is not open to any, you know, Debbie Downers or people that are skeptical or are negative in any way. This is a very positive support group. So you want to be sure that you are surrounding yourself with people who want your success and are excited for your success. So, you know, within your family, who is somebody that you can turn to when it's like, oh, you know, I just don't feel like doing that 15 minutes of writing today, you know, and you know, and then they'll say, come on, just get it done, and then we'll go do something afterwards. But think how great you're going to feel once you get that done. Or your friends, your colleagues in your niche. You know, again, you're going to be forming these great relationships, and these are people that you can bounce ideas off of, and you can share your successes and your concerns. This is why this is so important. Then, of course, there's your AWAI family. I have never been involved with a group of people from our team in our headquarters all the way through every single member that's engaged and active and supportive and sharing. These people, they're your tribe. They're all either been where you are now, where you want to go, and they really are a generous group. So know that they're available to you and reach out to them. Reach out to them through our Facebook group. Reach out to them when you're involved in programs like the Companion Series. If you come to a live event like the Web Intensive that's coming up or boot camp every year, there have been such wonderful friendships and partnerships and really lifelong allies made through this connection of a shared interest in living this writer's life. And what I hear, that when I hear this, it just makes my heart burst, because the way that our members help each other out and support each other and push each other along really is a wonderful thing. So know that this is available to you, and I just highly encourage you to think in terms of your life right now, and, you know, what are the circles that make up your support group, and are they strong, and are they, in fact, supportive? So here's just like, this is Carlene and her husband. Her husband is her biggest fan, and, you know, and then the photo of the three women in the lower left, these are women that met at Web Intensive, like, I don't know, probably 10 years, well, I don't know how many years ago now. It was quite a few years ago.
That was our first Austin one, so I want to say that was 8 years ago, 7 years ago?
Probably. Oh, that's great. And they are still just each other's rocks. They're each other's colleagues, but they're friends. And when they come together again, you know, once a year or however often it is, it's like this great family reunion. But they have weekly calls. They email each other. They help each other with projects. If somebody has too much work, they, you know, they're who they turn to with excess programs. These things happen, and they're so valuable. And then, of course, that's the AWAI team, your biggest fans and your biggest supporters. My final, although I could go on, but really, this I tell every new copywriter from day one, you need to treat your writing career as a business. It's not a hobby. This is a business. And you are the CEO of this business. So it really is up to you to do what you need to do to make your business successful. That means you need to have the right training. You have to do marketing. You have to be a professional when it comes to dealing with your colleagues and your clients. You need to think in terms of profit and loss. you know, you need to make that first sale because that's what businesses do. And you need to carry yourself like a professional. You need to let everybody in your world know that this is your business. You are a professional writer. You are helping companies solve their biggest problem. And once you start treating your business with that respect and dignity, you'll find that others do as well. So that's my number 3. Rebecca, I'm going to bounce the ball over to you, and you can take us home.
Bounce it. I'm in. Answering Jason's question. He says, I'm an Infinity member and signed up for boot camp too. So Jason, I'm looking forward to meeting you in October. We all are. Very motivated to get things started. Any programs through Infinity I should go through? Yeah, you have access to like 80 plus programs now. So I just asked you if you would post a follow-up question, kind of where you are right now and where you're going. That'll help me focus it a little bit. And also, we did a great webinar a couple years ago called Developing Your Roadmap. And actually, this is going to be one of the things I talk about. So I'll just go into it, and then we'll get there right now. First step, have a plan. It's like Jason set me up with this softball. So when you get into something like Infinity, for those of you who aren't familiar, Infinity is a limited enrollment that we open with AWAI a few times a year when we have the capacity for it. Basically, you get access to our entire catalog. So all of our home study type training programs, you get complete access to. You just request them whenever you want. It's like a one-fee, really low discounted price, and you never have to worry about buying a program ever again because it's all there. But that's a great thing, right? Because now you have this huge catalog of stuff, but it's also an overwhelming thing because, wow, you could go through 80 programs. So my first tip is to have a plan. I'm not a huge, like, structured goal-setting type person, and you're going to see that in a minute. But I do think it's important to have a plan, at least when you're starting out, because you can do it all. You just can't do it all at once, right? I don't want you to be a travel writer with a money-making website on green and a alternative health cover. Like, it's too much at one time. You can't take that many programs. So you do want to think about kind of what does your next 90 days look like? What are you trying to accomplish here? I did a webinar, what I was mentioning earlier, a couple years ago on building a roadmap. And so what that does is kind of makes you fly up to 30,000 feet and figure out where you're going so that you kind of know what programs you should be taking, what steps you should be taking. What that does for you is it gives you a lens to look through so that when an opportunity presents itself, whether it be a client, a webinar, a program, a live event, anything, you can say, hey, does this keep me on my path or does it take me off my path? And you want to ask that question because if it takes you off that path, then you need to put it aside and mark it as a bright, shiny object for now, or make a very, a good decision that you're going to change your path because it's warranted, because this is a better path, or you want to revise your path, or you're not happy with your path. So just focusing, I'm not saying like, where are you going to be 5 years from now? Where are you going to be at the end of the year? Lots of great people can help you with goal setting and that stuff. What I'm saying is just look forward to the next 90 days and say, you know what? I hate this idea of picking a niche, but man, they keep saying it. I'm just going to pick financial for the next 90 days. So I know now, okay, I'm picking the financial niche. I'm going to go through the companion series with Katie and Rebecca starting February, and I'm going to go through the financial program, the financial copywriting program. And at the end of March, I'm going to know I want to be in financial. I'm going to put my LinkedIn profile, I'm going to put my website. I'm going to know if I want to be in financial or not. So now I'm very focused. So when I send you an email about the health writing market, and it sounds super sexy and super exciting, you can say no thank you, because my plan is financial for the next 90 days. What that does, along with keeping you focused, is allows you to actually have some really good forward progress. You will be moving forward because you have a really good plan, right? 10 weeks after the companion series, you will be AWAI verified, you'll feel confident in your direct response copywriting skills. A couple weeks later, you'll go through the financial program, you'll know you'll be able to write financial copy, you'll put up your website, you'll put up your LinkedIn profile, you'll start reaching out. At the end of 90 days, you might say, hey, I hate the financial market. This is not what I was expecting. That's okay, because now you have this solid basis in direct response. You know how easy it is to put up a LinkedIn profile. You already have a website. Changing everything out, it's a matter of days. You can always change direction, and look how much you've already learned. Look how much you've written. Look how many samples you have. It's so much easier to change direction once you're moving forward. The problem most writers have is they stay at that first step. So instead of going forward for 90 days, they just sit for 90 days and are paralyzed at making that first decision. So you can sit for 90 days and then make a decision, or you can just make a decision whether it's right or wrong or whatever, and just move forward. You will learn so much in those 90 days. And again, it'll get rid of that bright, shiny object syndrome that, you know, what do I do? There's just so much. There's so many ways to make a living as a writer. So just focus. So run everything against that plan and be okay saying no. This is going to be a very important lesson for you to learn in your career. You are going to have opportunities that are going to present themselves. Clients are going to ask you to take on projects that are just not right for you. Be okay saying no. Yes, you want to attend this webinar, but is this webinar really the best thing for your time today? Is that the best thing you could be doing today? Maybe, maybe not. Be okay saying, like, this is not for me right now. Maybe later, but not right now. And be okay with saying yes. Sometimes things will present themselves that are not what you were expecting. I have had many opportunities in life where a door opened and I thought, well, that's not what I'm not going down that path. And then after thinking about it, I decided to step through that door and it totally changed direction. So that's okay too. The point here is to have a plan so that you can continue to move forward and that you do make forward progress and that you don't get paralyzed or overwhelmed. And at the same time, have some flexibility to know that sometimes things are going to appear that might be worthwhile. You just want to make sure that it's not the bright, shiny object syndrome, that it's a very well thought out decision to change direction. So that is my first tip, to have a plan. So I would love for everyone to walk away from this. And again, I'm not saying be so specific with your goals and all that, but just tonight, like if I asked you, what's the next 90 days look like to you? I would love for you to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to focus on the companion series, I'm coming to the web intensive, and by April 1st, my business is up and running, focusing on alternative health. Whatever that looks like for you. It might be something simpler. It might be like, I'm working on my money-making website, and I'm going to have it up by March 1st. Committed. Done deal. That's what my next 90 days looks like. Whatever it is for you. Let's say you're working full-time, and it just could be something like, next 90 days, I'm committed. I'm going to pick a niche. I'm going to get to the accelerated program, and I'm going to write 2 samples in that niche, or I'm going to research 20 clients in that niche, or I'm going to put up a LinkedIn profile in that niche. It doesn't have to be this epic plan, but just what can you do in the next 90 days? What does your next 90 days look like? So everybody, that would be my first recommendation. My second one is business building, because this is the thing that is so easy to put off, but I will tell you there will always be another skill building thing. Skill building is fun. Writing is fun. That's what we do, right? We're readers. We're writers. We like to learn. That's why we're here. It feels so good. And it's necessary to be a good writer, right? We have to learn. We have to be improving our skills. You will never stop learning. But the business side of things is what holds us back. And the business side of things is equally as important, because it's one thing to have a whole bunch of skills and be a great writer. It's a whole other thing to have people actually pay you for those skills. Again, this doesn't have to be anything epic, but if you just do one thing every single day, and I'm talking simple stuff, like make a new connection on LinkedIn. Somebody was asking me in the Q&A about, did I know any B2B copywriters in the food service industry? First thing I would do is go over to LinkedIn, and I would look up, as though I was a food service company, copywriter, food service, and I would find them, make friends with them. Go make some connections on LinkedIn, look up the companies. Go use Pam's example, go research trade shows in the food service industry, there are tons, and decide that every single day this year, you're going to connect with another food service company on LinkedIn. Just make a connection. Post something, post a comment. Steve Maurer has a great article on AWAI's website. He has built his entire business through cold companies. He knows nothing about these companies. He has no connections, no referrals. He just has a very focused LinkedIn profile, and he has this strategy. He goes and makes comments, especially when he understands the equipment that they're talking about, where he's used the equipment before, he has an opinion. He just posts a comment, and 9 times out of 10, those companies end up following him to see who the heck this guy is who's making a comment on this random piece of equipment that he has serviced before. And then they find out he's a copywriter in their space, and that usually warrants a phone call, and it's amazing. So just challenge yourself, like for the next 30 days, could you do something every single day that would build your business? It could be 1 minute, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 10. Write a sample, right? I want to be an email copywriter in the solar technology industry. I'm going to write an email selling solar panels to moms who are sitting at home worried about their energy bills, whatever. You know, it could be anything. Write a sample. Research 10 new clients. Use Pam's example and decide that every day this week, I'm going to research 10 new potential clients for myself. It can be that simple, but if you do this for 30 days, it will become part of your second nature. Like, it'll just be something that you do, and it will be fun. And man, when the clients start calling, you are just going to just hang up the phone and then do your happy dance and know that it's because you did these things. We have tons of webinars on getting clients, attracting clients to you if you don't like, if you're very introverted and you don't like the idea of reaching out, you just want them to come to you. Go to the Inside AWAI page. I'm going to give you a link at the end. We have tons of webinars, 5 ways to bring clients to you, 7 ways for you to go out to get clients, tons of content, tons of things, but just commit. Like if you could just do something every day, you will be surprised at how fast you build your business. And then finally, like I said, I'm not a big goal-setting person. I believe in just killing it every single day. I wake up every day, and I just look in the mirror and say, thank you for this awesome life today, and let's just kill it. I'm going to try to be the best mom I can, the best wife that I can, the best partner that I can, the best writer that I can. I just do my best every single day. I look for the things on my list that I feel are going to move the chains the most, and that's what I do. I don't set financial goals for myself. I don't really have these grandiose things, but I will tell you that every year since I joined AWAI, which was about 14 years ago, my life has been better in some form than the year before. The numbers just keep moving in the right direction. The connections keep moving. My accomplishments keep moving. It's amazing. If you just wake up every day and say, let's just try to kill it today. That way you don't get so caught up into all of the stuff, right? There's no right way of doing this. There's no perfect sauce. There's no button that you can push. It's just your personal best. Can you show up? Can you write every day? Can you do something to build your business every day? Can you make decisions? Can you pick the niche and not wait 90 days? Just kill it. Like, what can you do today to just kill it? And I'm telling you, if you just change that mindset, things become a lot easier and it becomes a lot more fun. And this last lens to look through, I saw this yesterday on Facebook, and I thought, this is exactly, this is it. Ask yourself if what you're doing today is getting you closer to where you want to be tomorrow. If you can truly answer yes, then you know you're doing the right thing. You know you're spending time on the right activities. So just put it through that lens, and it will simplify this whole big, exciting, crazy journey that you're going down into making a great living as a writer. So all seems very simple, right? But honestly, those are my 3. If you have a plan, if you do something every day to build your business and you show up every day, just show up ready to kill it, you'll succeed. There's no way that you can't. All right, so before we open up for even more questions, you guys are asking fantastic questions. Oh, we've already done 106 questions in the Q&A. Keep on posting. We'll keep answering and start doing some out loud. But here are some good resources that I want to make sure everybody is aware of. The first one is for Inside AWAI, and these will all be clickable in the recording that comes out to you on Monday. But this first one, we have done 24 webinars on topics from getting clients and building your business and picking a niche and creating a roadmap and the 5 ways to make $1,000 as a writer. We've done 5 ways to make $2,000 in a weekend as a writer. I mean, anything you could think of, they're in there. We've just published, I didn't even realize this until I went to the page, our 2018 pricing guide. So all the latest rates are in there for the top 75 copywriting projects. So definitely everybody download that. There's also some great insights in there on just being an effective copywriter and building your business, as well as insights for marketers, people who hire you. We publish the same pricing guide to both audiences, both copywriters and marketers. The idea being that, hey, companies, you need to know what you should be paying copywriters, and copywriters, you should know what they're expecting to pay you. You need to understand your value. So we publish one report every year and have content in there for both. So I recommend that you read the content that's directed at marketers, because that's who, we're talking to them about you and what they should expect and how to hire you. It kind of gives you the inside track on what they're looking for and what they're going to be expecting when you're working with them. Daily writing prompts, we talk a lot at AWAI about writing every single day, and the question is always, great, well, what do I write? We have a whole page full of writing prompts from experts. We basically went out to our experts and said, give us a writing prompt. What do you think they should write about? And so we have videos in there. There's 30-plus ways that you can, the next 30 days, you can easily come up with something to write about every single day. We have a database of thousands and thousands and thousands of articles. Any question that you could possibly think to ask us, coaches, mentors, niche, anything. You put a word into our website, you will come up with plenty of content that has been written on that topic. So it's all free and accessible to you on our site. Our training catalog is also another resource I want to put out to you, not just because that's where every program is. those of you who are asking me about a website building program or a program in writing financial copy, it's all in there. But I also put it in there as a research tool. If you ever hear us talk about an opportunity like white papers and you think, what the heck is a white paper and what is that opportunity? Go to our catalog. If there is a way to make a living at it, there's a really good chance that AWAI has published a program on it. And our promos are about 80% research. So go to our catalog, find the program on that opportunity, and read the promo. Not necessarily to buy the program, but just to learn about it. In every single promo, we're going to talk about what the project is, how long it takes, what it looks like, how much you can charge, who hires for it, how it's used. You get all of that intel right there without having to do any research. So our catalog is a great resource. And then finally, our case studies. This is, people, has anyone ever done this? Has anyone ever done that? Do you have any stories like this? We have 50 plus already. We just started this project a little over a year ago. We had hundreds of success stories on our website, but we thought, let's dig in deeper. Let's not just have testimonials. Let's actually interview them and find out what happened. How did it happen? What challenges did they face? What do they recommend in hindsight, knowing what they've been through? So we are just on this mission to publish as many as we can. We just keep on publishing. We're over 50 now, but it's a great place to connect with people who might be similar to you. It's also a great place just to be inspired on those days where you're feeling like, ugh, I just don't know if I can do this. Like, I want it so bad, but, I just need a little dose of, like, someone kicking me in the butt and saying, keep going. Case studies are a great place because they're all some of our just best members. Not only are they successful, and we love them for that, but so many of them are still here paying it forward to the next generation of writers. Remember, this is AWAI's 21st year. We have tons of stories in the last couple of decades, but the connection and the stick-with-itness that our success stories have of just staying, because they're so appreciative that AWAI opened this world to them, that they're so willing to help out that next generation to open the world for you as well. Our job has become so easy in the last few years simply because we have this force of people who are helping us help others live the life of their dreams. So definitely reach out, look at the case studies, and you'll see them through our Facebook groups and on LinkedIn. And with that, what questions do you have? What can we do to help get you moving in your copywriting business? Katie, how do you want to handle this? Should we keep on in the Q&A, or I see 13 prioritized. Should I moderate?
Yeah, sure. And I think we can just jump in a little bit. There are some that just need to be addressed publicly.
Whoa.
Yes, and this is one I want to kick to the curb right away, because a couple people are concerned that they're too old to do this, and they're concerned about ageism, and which believe me, I don't discount or want to imply that it doesn't exist out there in the world, but I have to say it really does not exist in copywriting. Clients really don't care how old you are. They don't care what sex you are, what race you are, none of those things play into their hiring decision. What they care about are results. What they care about is, do you understand what they're trying to accomplish? Can you help them accomplish their goals? In many cases, you don't even meet the clients in person. And there's that part of it. But then, like Pam pointed out in one of her responses to this, the senior market, and I'm not saying that any specific age makes you a senior, but it's such a booming market. There's so much opportunity there. There's so much commerce that happens there that if you feel like you're limited by that, turn that into a positive. And how can you be a copywriter for that world? So those are things and the reason why I'm making such a big deal about that is because that's the kind of message you could be telling yourself that's going to psych you out, that's going to limit you and cause you maybe not to get started. Oh, I'm too old, or oh, I don't have the right education, or oh, I'm not, whatever that message is. And I just want to ask you, please, to turn that recording off. Tell it to go away, because it just doesn't apply in this world. I'm off my soapbox. resume?
Here, I'll help you down, but I agree 100%. Just getting a quick link. For those of you asking questions about clients, let me just give you this really quick. 5 ways to get clients.
There are a lot of questions that,
we have so many webinars on getting clients, and I also want to put, if someone can go grab a link, Fran or Jade, if you can ask Jackie for a link to GCM, that would be a good one to share as well. GCM, it's an internal name, but it's a program that we came out with last year that has 27 different ways to build your business. And it's actually separated out by personality type, just to show, like, when I first came up with the idea for this product, I was going to do 8. I was like, I'm going to put together a fully comprehensive program that walks people through 8 different ways. That way, they don't have to choose. Like, they can choose 1 or 2, they can choose 5 and 7. It doesn't really matter, whatever their personality types are. So I reached out to our experts and our most successful members, like some of the people on our case studies, and said, okay, what is your favorite method for getting clients? Assuming I would be trying to come up with about 8. I got 27. I was like, it was shocking. We just kept like updating the spreadsheet, like, okay, we're up to 4, oh, now we're up to 17. Okay, we have 24 methods for getting clients now, 27 methods. It was crazy. We actually had to cut it because we had to go to production. But what it is it's separated out by personality type. So if you like hate the idea of ever picking up the phone, we've got methods for you. If you love the idea of picking up the phone, we've got methods for you. If you want to write your way to getting clients, we've got methods for you. Like, no matter what personality type you could possibly be, there are multiple methods in this program, and it's actually divided out by personality type, so you kind of know which methods are more for you anyways. But the cool thing about it is each method is talked about from beginning to end. It's not like a, let me tell you how I got my clients. It's, okay, step 1, you do this. Then it looks like this, and they show you on the screen. And like when Steve walks through his whole, Steve Maurer is one of our members who had great success using LinkedIn. When he walks through, he shows you his pages. He shows you exactly what he does and how he comments and how he follows and how he sees when they commented on him and how he finds the right contact. And he goes step by step by step, and everybody did this so that you can see exactly what to do. It's not a theory kind of thing. It is a true how-to. And you might go through one and say, actually, after going through that, I don't want to do that. Well, that's okay, because you have 26 other methods that you can use. So that's a great program for everybody who just really wants hand-holding with getting clients. And so hopefully Fran or Jade will post that in the chat, and we'll make sure that goes out on Monday as well so that you have that. In addition, though, we do have other webinars that we've done on Inside AWAI. It's a little more surface. It doesn't go into too much of the how-to, but it just shows you the various ways that you can build your business and get clients. So that's that. Sam, did you have anything else? We can answer specific questions, but
yeah.
No, I've been so busy answering questions that I wasn't paying attention. I'm so sorry. I'm
Katie,
trying
you had
to
something
catch
to
up.
say. Go ahead. Go ahead, Katie.
Yeah. Linda just asked a question. Where do I find defining approaching? It's about approaching clients per your personality type. And once you see this link to this this 27 different ways of getting clients, you'll see which avenue, which method appeals to your personality type. So we're going to be getting that link posted in just 1 minute.
And actually, I just asked them if they could also put a deal on it. So you're going to see a link, you'll see a promo, but I asked marketing, or Jackie Mailer is our marketing director, and I just said, people are asking about it, can you please give them some kind of deal? So you'll see it, but then Monday you'll probably see a different deal that's cheaper, so sit tight.
Yeah, and Ingrid is asking regarding the live companion, more information, start date, specific day, and I just included a link to that, so that gives you the full picture there. It's live on Thursdays at noon, starting February 1st. If you can't make it live, it is recorded, but we encourage you to join us live because we get to have this kind of fun Q&A, and we have a lot of laughs.
We do have a lot of laughs.
Somebody else is concerned about they're feeling that because they're having difficulty getting a website started, that's going to be a negative for them with clients. 99, well, for copywriters, clients aren't looking to copywriters to set up websites for them. They're not looking for you to do any of the technical background stuff or any of the, even really the design. They're not looking to you for that. They're looking to copywriters for the words that are on the page. And those words follow the persuasive argument, the direct response argument, that structure that we teach in all of our programs. So again, don't let that be another thing that psychs you out, like, oh, I shouldn't do this because I don't have that technical skill. That technical skill is not needed for being a copywriter for websites.
Someone else is asking that too. You know, you're really going to just be sending in the copy and content. As you get better, as you become more immersed in this industry, you'll have opinions. You know, you'll say, I would like it to look like this. I would like that kind of picture here. I'd like the headline to look like this on this other website that I am sending you an example of. But you won't ever be doing any of the designing unless for some reason, you know, that's a skill set that you have or want to learn. And that's web, print, no matter what you work on. You are just applying the words.
Okay. A couple people are asking about clients, like how to know if they're good clients or bad clients, or and you know, basically you want to just listen to your gut. If you get a bad feeling, then it's probably not for you. If you're not excited about the product, if you have any qualms about the product, it's not for you. There are plenty of other fish in that sea, and it's a disservice to the client and a disservice to you if you do not believe fully in it. But the thing to always keep in mind is this is a very collaborative process. It's not adversarial with clients at all. They want you to succeed because if your copy is successful, then that helps their business. I mean, it's as simple as that. So they're going to give you as much help and support and tools as they can to help you do your job. So it's not like they say, oh, go write us a winner and, you know, come back in a month, and, you know, if you don't, then you're this huge failure. You have a, you know, in 99% of the cases, there is a creative call, a brainstorming call at the very beginning of a project where everybody gets on the same page and it's clear what type of research you need or who you need to talk to or what steps you need to take to be able to get started. They want you to have all of that material. Then maybe you'll throw out some ideas, some for headlines or what the big idea is going to be or what the package is going to be about. There's back and forth there. Then there are other check-ins all along the process. So it's very collaborative all the way through. What they're looking for is they're looking for somebody who's professional, somebody who understands what their mission is, what their message is, what they're trying to do. They're looking for somebody that can communicate persuasively, that understands the structure of how a sales letter needs to operate, to understand how to close the sale. You know, there's so much of that, and this is what we spend 10 weeks talking about in the companion series. But we give you all those tools. It would be scary to try to jump into this without having the support in the background and the foundation that we offer. But once you have it, it takes all that fear away, and you guys you're on equal fields. It's not one, you know, it's not like the client has all the power. You guys are meeting in the middle to accomplish a common goal. That was a long answer.
I just wanted to mention that I was trying to answer some questions and it won't let me, and I don't know why. So maybe I can answer them verbally. They're in the prioritized.
Just go ahead and answer them, Pam. You're good. Just go ahead and pick one and say, here's the answer.
So June has a journalism degree. She's been writing, you know, for a really long time, and yet she hasn't found a part-time copywriting internship or job. She's frustrated, and I was going to try and ask her if she's gone through the the Inside AWAI free sessions on getting clients, because there are lots of different tips to reach out to companies locally and online to get your first client and get that traction going. We've got like 6 different sessions on that, and I didn't know if you haven't looked at those yet, you might find some gold mines in there to help you. I understand your frustration, but we have a lot of information also on AWAI online. In our article archives, you could search getting clients, and we've got a lot of information on that there too. So hopefully that helps. That was one of them, and let me see now. Let's find the other one. A lot of people are asking about European clients and European rates. I am not as familiar with that, but I know that Agora and other major publishers are in Europe and crank out copy every day. So I have to imagine that businesses need customers just like they do here, and it might be a different approach there, but I just can imagine that if you do some Google searching, and if you're looking to find clients, again, go back to Inside AWAI. And the link has been posted many times, but it's just simply awaionline.com/Inside AWAI with a hyphen in the middle. You can find that most of anything we're talking about as far as finding clients, investigating niches, all that stuff would apply anywhere in the world, I would believe. And you only need, maybe 1 to 5 clients to have a very happy, steady flow of work. So hopefully those resources can help you find those no matter where you are. All right, let's see what else. Sorry, we're looking through here.
Yes.
So what is the difference between COS, Infinity, and the Platinum programs? I don't know what our Platinum programs are. That's something new that is, even I don't know about. But let me talk about the difference between Circle of Success and Infinity. Infinity I mentioned earlier. That is just a value, it's called a value program, in that you get full access. So if you don't want to have to worry about, do I want this program or that program, I don't know which one to buy, or oh, there's another program, Infinity just basically opens up our catalog for you of all of our home study type programs so that you can just get them. The beauty of that is, let's say you're working on emails and a client says, hey, great, can you also do a press release? And you're like, I've never written a press release before. You say, yes, absolutely I can. You go to your Infinity catalog, you download the publicity program, you learn how to write a press release, and off you go. So it's a great resource or library, if you will, where you don't actually have to go through all the programs at any one time. You can just do them in the order that your clients ask for them. So Infinity is just programs. Circle of Success, which is actually going to be opened again in March, I believe. We are totally retooling it. Circle of Success is more of a comprehensive, highest level of training that is customized to you. Circle of Success, we meet with you at the very beginning. We understand where your goals are, where you're hoping to go with this, and then we put together basically, we have a roadmap of the steps that we know that you will need to take, but we help customize it for you. It also gives you full access to all the programs, plus additional training, things that aren't included because it's hands-on stuff, like the badges. You guys may have seen the badges opportunity last week. Badges is a, or I guess it ended just on Tuesday of this week, but badges was included in Circle of Success. That's part of the Circle of Success curriculum. So there's just a difference there, whether it's programs, or if you just want to, to access programs, or if you want us to actually help you. Circle of Success also comes with access to the experts. So you have a client on the phone, you're not sure how to handle it, we put you in touch with the expert who can help you handle it. You're working on a promo and it's your first big one and you really want it to be awesome. Circle of Success, you have the option to have somebody actually review your entire promo before you submit it to your client, so that you've got someone like a Paul Hollingshead kind of behind you doing an extra pass at it to make sure it's as good as it can possibly be. So Circle of Success is more of community, hands-on training, and really focusing. Again, we work with you as long as it takes to achieve your goals, and we just stick with you and stick with it, and to make sure that you know exactly the next step to take. So that's the difference between the two of those. Guys, remember to clear out your questions. So if you've answered them in the Q&A, Katie and Pam, if you can mark them as answers if they disappear. You, Linda, have failed to build a successful website. Local website builders want a minimum of $2,000. Clients need you to have these skills. Is there a good way to learn one-to-one? Both of our programs are step-by-step showing you exactly how to do it, and no client should want you to have those skills unless you're working for very small companies, which is not really something I would recommend. If you're not a web developer, I wouldn't recommend putting up websites for little companies, for small companies, just because that's not really your wheelhouse, or that's not where you want to end up. You want to be working for companies who have bigger budgets, who value copy and content, who have kind of more to gain from the skills that you have. That being said, if you have our website building course, then you actually have free access to our Facebook group. So Jim Wright leaves that up. Any question that you have, he'll be able to answer and help you get unstuck. So I recommend that you go back to your member page to join that Facebook group. It's a private group, so you'll have to go through your My AWAI page. But he literally is there every single month answering every single question. If somebody can't ask it, like it's not a simple how do I do this, but it seems more complicated, he will literally jump on a webinar and, you know, you can join him live, or he will screen capture the whole thing and send you a video. And if that doesn't work, he'll go in and actually do it for you. So we pay him to be part of that program. We pay him for that support. So use him. So I would recommend, Linda, that you go back to that program and reach out and get help, because that's part of what you paid for with that. And we want to make sure that your website is up, that it looks good, and that it's high quality. Part of that program is also a review. So we go through your website. So for those of you who are asking, like, how do I know if my website's good enough for clients? We go through that and make sure that it is. So we give you feedback on how to improve it even more to make sure that it's representing you professionally and demonstrating your value right away. And I must have dropped my internet connection.
Mark is asking, when you say there are pros that review your copy, how does that work? If I get the accelerated program, do I get help feedback on Facebook or another forum? Within the accelerated program, there are 2 assignments that you send in, and you get feedback, you get written critiques back on those. That's not done on the forums. They're actually emailed back to you. Some of our other programs, such as the badges that Rebecca was talking about, there are 8 different assignments, for instance, in badges, and you get feedback on each of those. There are 4 specific projects that have been assigned throughout that. Same goes for our copywriting initiative. There are specific assignments that you're tasked with, and you get feedback. Within Circle of Success, however, there are monthly peer reviews, there are full critiques, and that could be for anything that you're writing on, not specifically assignments associated with a particular product. Hope that answers your question, Mark. And Sean is saying he's a COS member. Can he still register for the badges? Yes, as a COS member, badges is included. So that's a huge perk for that for you guys.
Jade and Fran, if you can go in and clear out priorities as well. It looks like they're prioritized, but a lot of them are answered.
All right, I'm thinking we're doing pretty good here. I don't know if we want to do a last call.
I still see questions that aren't answered, but I don't know if it's because my system needs to reboot. I lost my internet for a second. Did you talk about the badges, come with a link to show a client what it actually means to them? Did you cover that one? So sorry, I'll just answer it. Yes. So Roy, the badges do come with a link. So AWAI Verified actually, somebody was asking me before, why verify and not certify? We take it a step further with our verification, and we actually verify that the verification is real. So when you post the image on your website, our database links up with that. Clients can connect to it, can click on it, and it will actually verify, yes, this person is legit. They didn't just copy this and put it on their website. They can also call our member services team, who will also verify that you passed the test and that you've received your badges. And then finally, we do have a link on our website that talks all about it. So if someone were to research it, to say, what does this verified badge even mean? Because really, a certification or a verification is only as good as the company who is verifying that something actually happened. So we do have copy on our website, which I will post there, that basically tells you tells clients what our verification, the value of it, so that it does sell you as well. For those of you going through the badges program right now, we're actually going to build out a whole area of the AWAI website that will have you on there and the badges that you've collected. So let's say we have a client who is looking for an AWAI verified member who can write SEO in health or whatever. They can go and actually see your qualifications and your badges on our website as well, which we're really excited about.
Kenneth is asking, how do I know which program is best to get started as a copywriter? I want to be thorough and well-trained. Well, you know, there's hands down, it's the accelerated program for six-figure copywriting. That is the gold standard. That is the program that companies in the industry have their staff writers go through. We launched our company. It's been the flagship for 21 years now. It will give you the best foundation in direct response copywriting available. So if this is what you want to do, that's what you start with. And, you know, it's just great timing. We've been talking about this companion series that Rebecca and I are doing. We're starting it just in a couple weeks. And it is the quickest and most efficient and most effective way to get through the accelerated program. The accelerated program is like 500 pages, and there's lots of exercises, but this keeps you on track. We highlight the most important lessons. We bring in other experts to give you their perspective on these lessons as well, and you're part of a community that's all working together to get through the program. So I highly recommend it.
Arian wants to know, should I look for clients, should I wait to look until I have a website up and running? Actually, I'll just answer this verbally. I would at least have a LinkedIn profile so that when someone researches you, if you reach out to me and you say, hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm going to go ahead and search for you immediately. If I don't find a website, I'm going to want to be able to find a LinkedIn profile so I can learn about you and see that you are, you know, kind of who you are and get a little backstory on you. That being said, remember when we talked about all of the ways that you can build your business, you could start right now researching clients. You can start right now putting together what you would say to them, start working on your, what we call warm prospecting emails. We've covered this in Inside AWAI. Start putting together an information packet and samples. You can start doing things to build your business now so that when you have your website up or you have your LinkedIn profile, you are ready to go.
And like we said, another thing that we say, you need to start telling everybody that you're a copywriter. And, you know, you may get surprised, and somebody may say, oh, great, call my brother. That's what he needs, and you want to be prepared to do that. So the sooner that you can at least get a LinkedIn profile or something like that up, the better prepared you will be, because once you start telling people you're a copywriter, you very well could find yourself in this great situation of people saying, oh, I need you. I need your help. You call us, we'll calm you down, and we'll walk you through it. Tom is asking if the companion program is included with Infinity membership, and yes, it is.
That's something to point out, too. For those of you who have been through Companion before, it's a living program, so you can go through it again. Kay and I have been through it now about 10 times. This will be our 10th year, but you'll learn something different every single time, and that goes for all of AWAI programs. Somebody else asked me about money-making websites. If you've been through it before, can you put in your website again to have it reviewed? Yes, like every time that we do anything, if we add new content, if we update a program, we just updated the social media program, completely revamped it. Like 95% of it has been revamped, making it modularized into videos so we can keep it all up to date and keep your skills up to date. People who own that program get the whole brand new program for free. We never charge you again for the same program. So whether we add bonuses, update it, do the live training again, you are always invited to participate and get those things for free. So if you've been to the Companion series before, or you bought it and didn't go through it all the way, please know that you're welcome to join us again, and it's automatically going to show up on your member page. I'm still trying to close out a lot of these questions that we have answered. If you have a lead for a nonprofit charity website and you have gone through the Christian Market program, do you also need to study the nonprofit course, or can you start right away with what you know from the Christian Market program? There is some nonprofit content in the Christian Market program. There's really not a right answer for that. Would you be a better nonprofit writer if you had gone through our fundraising program? Yes, because you would understand the persuasive elements of asking for, or for raising funds, which is not necessarily the case for all Christian copywriting. In the Christian Market program, we talk a little bit about nonprofits, but a lot of Christian entities are also for-profit. So it's a little bit of a different training program.
Sean is calling us the Writer's World's Three Musketeers. Thank you for your dedication. Oh, we love you guys, so it's easy.
One for all and all for one.
Yay!
Exactly. Tia just asked, you know, what are the best simple projects to start with when starting out? I posted one link about it inside AWAI. We did projects to make $1,000 as a copywriter in a weekend, but there are so many other ideas in the webinars inside AWAI. It's how to get started, the best projects to start with. It is that page with all these webinars, you know, there's 2 years worth. We're starting our 3rd year, like Rebecca said. It's a gold mine. There's so much great actionable information that's available to you. I would highly recommend that, you know, maybe you listen to one a week or one every couple days, and just get through them. You're going to find, you know, talk about learning something new every day. That's going to be a great resource for you.
It makes me sad about that. There's a couple more questions about the discriminating for age, because one, that's frustrating that would even happen, but two, I'm not even sure how anybody would ever know how old you are. So just think about that. And, you know, the same could be argued for the college kids that are coming through. We've got some amazing college kids having great success. One who never even had a full-time job because she found our course while she was in college. But it could be argued that she would be discriminated against because she had zero experience. She was a kid. But that's not how you market yourself. So what I would recommend is everybody just make sure that when you look at your marketing materials, your website, your LinkedIn profile, you're focusing on what you have, what you're bringing to the table, whether it's experience in your industry, whether it's a passion for martial arts or living an alternative lifestyle for the last 20 years. Your age really doesn't matter. It's just like your location. It doesn't matter where you live. They don't need to know that you live in Ireland. It's kind of irrelevant, assuming that you can deliver your copy during, you know, on your deadlines. That's really all you need to know. For those of you in Europe, same thing, or other countries. You know, if you can write clearly in English, English is your first language, you can easily work for U.S. companies no matter where you live, or you can work for companies in your country who are writing in English, or if English is not your first language. Let's say French is your first language and you're not really comfortable writing direct response in English, then you can work for U.S. companies who are also promoting in French. So a lot of companies have multiple websites and multiple languages, have multiple marketing materials because their prospects speak different languages, or you can work for countries, either in companies in your country marketing in French, or other companies in other countries also marketing in French. So it's really just think about who you are, what you bring to the table, and make sure that your marketing materials are representing that. Make sure that you're going after clients that make sense for you. You know, where you do have something, we covered this a lot in the niche program, but you want to have something that you bring to the table, and all of us do, whether we have work experience, whether we have writing experience, whether we have industry experience, whether we have a passion for something, like again, like my martial arts example, or we're just the prospect. I have 2 young children, so a couple years ago, I know what it's like to be a new mom. Who better to write to new moms than me? Because I know the fears of being a new mom. So you could just be the prospect. I could just go after infant safety products. I know nothing about that industry. I've never written for them a day in my life, but I could say, hey, I've been through the new mom. I know what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night and wonder if your kid is still breathing that baby. Like, is the water too hot? Did I feed them right? All that stuff. I would love to sell your products because I believe in your products and services, and I know that market. So just think about that. Like, really look at your materials and how you're presenting yourself. And are you picking a niche that's relevant? Do you bring something to the table and make sure that everything is focusing on, again, what you do have, not what you don't have? 226 questions. This is amazing. I don't want to stop this. This is awesome.
I know. Pastor Eli is just asking when is the deadline for the companion series, and that is Tuesday. We want to get everybody set up and the member page all set up, so we're asking everybody to reserve their spot by Tuesday. He's asking about the badges program. Unfortunately, that is closed right now. We honestly had such a overwhelming response. We're regrouping a little bit. We will see it again at some point, but I just can't tell you when at this point.
For those of you asking if the badges can be purchased separately, not at this time. The reason is, the whole point of badges is that when you work for a company, they're going to ask you to do a bunch of different things. Clayton Makepeace might write the sales letter. He gets a lot of money to write a sales letter, but there are 50 other pieces of copy that are needed in order to drive people to that sales letter. So when they call you, they're going to ask you for emails and social media campaigns, ads, and all that kind of stuff. So the idea behind our badges program is that you are a very comprehensive direct response copywriter. You can do all of those collateral pieces and start making money faster while you're learning to write the big sales letter. Yes, sales letters are going to pay you a ton of money. Yes, they have royalties and all that cool stuff attached, but we don't have to wait for that. We want you to be working now because it's so cool to be able to use Clayton Makepeace's sales letter, his ideas, his big idea, his different subheads and angles and all that stuff, his offer. It's all perfectly written and executed. And then you just get to apply it to your copy. You don't have to come up with all of that, you know, the big idea of the sales package. He's already done that. So it's what we really show you in the badges program, how to take that sales letter and then apply it to all of the collateral pieces. And then you can make a ton of money just doing collateral pieces. That's where the volume is. You know, Clayton may only write a few sales letters a year, but we're turning out 50+ pieces of copy every single month. And writers are, you know, we're a tiny, tiny company in this space. So it can't be purchased separately as of yet because we want you to be able to know them all. And this is really, that badges, it's a brand new program. Like Katie said, the response is overwhelming and we're kind of regrouping. We want to take this first group and put them through to make sure that they get everything that they need and that we're giving them the attention and feedback so that we can give them the training they need, give them the feedback that they need, and then readjust the program or adjust the program if necessary.
Wilfred is saying you have a meditation segment. We have a full program on meditation. Rebecca and I are both big meditators.
Huge fans.
Both believe very strongly in the woman that we got to create a program just for writers. It's called Accessing the Writers Within. It's a 21-day program. I put the link up under Wilfred's question. And then, but then he asked, is there any interest in possibly starting what I would call a wisdom trail? I don't know what that is, but I'd love to hear more about it. And you're welcome to contact me directly at Katie, K-A-T-I-E, at AWAIonline.com. Because I like to learn at least one new thing every day, so I'll learn what a wisdom trail is. Oh, lots of thank yous, and we thank you. You know, this would be nothing if we didn't have this great participation and enthusiasm and interest to learn. And there's nothing more than we love than is to talk about AWAI and knowing what it can do for you.
For those of you who don't know, too, Pam was one of you. You know, just over a decade ago, she was in the audience. She was in the audience at our events. She was in the audience, I guess we didn't really have webinars like this back then. Nope. But she was one of you, and she went out and was successful, and we followed her story, and then eventually she came back, became an expert in her own right, became a teacher, became one of our speakers, became one of our best, most enthusiastic and most highly rated speakers by our audience, and eventually we approached her and said, hey, you've been all the way from newbie to expert, come join us. And that's how she actually joined the AWAI family. So she was a member who took the accelerated program. And look at her now. We're so
yeah.
proud.
Well, I was going to say, you know, a lot of these questions I had, one of them was, you know, should I take the accelerated program if I want to write in other areas like B2B? And I was like, that's how I started, and everything you learn in the accelerated program is a foundation for no matter what direction you end up going in, because you still need to speak in really great persuasive conversational language to a prospect and help them find the solution they're looking for. Doesn't matter if it's a business selling to another business or charity or anything, it's all kind of the same. It's all about people and persuading them or helping them find the solution they've been looking for. So it's been a long road, almost 13 years now. I can't believe it, but I use my foundational stuff every single day.
It's such a good point, too, because even if you think about business to business, it's still a person reading the copy. We teach persuasion. We teach conversational writing, how to engage somebody and get them interested. Even though you're selling, let's say, a tax software, it's still an accountant who's reading the copy. So what you learn in the accelerated program is how to communicate with that prospect. He still has a set of needs. He's got problems that need solving. We teach you how to write that way. And then whatever path you go into, they then teach you how to apply it to that style or that medium, or, you know, whether it's social media or B2B or a specific niche, they kind of layer on. But the accelerated program, it's all about persuasion and, you know, getting someone to take an action. And that really is what drives all business, is getting their prospects and customers to take action. So 100%. And it's all direct response. Someone else asked, how do you know if a company uses direct response? If they're selling something and trying to get someone to take an action, even if that action is to share the social media post or comment on this piece of content, you know, to engage, any action at all, that's direct response. So that's why we believe everything starts with direct response. Web, B2B, doesn't matter. Email, whatever format, it's all direct response. All right. So what is the Web Intensive?
Like, oh my goodness.
Right before we close. Okay, so real quick, Web Intensive is an annual event here in my hometown of Austin, Texas. It is 3 intense days if you want to be a web writer, an online copywriter, which is really where all the opportunity is. If you're in B2B, all your opportunity is going to be on the web. That's where the bulk of it's going to be. And in any other industry, web writing, if you just look at the Badges program, that's the collateral pieces. It's all web. So Web Intensive was a brainchild actually Pam was at our first one. This will be our 11th. She was there 11 Web Intensives ago, and now she's a speaker. Basically, we picked the top 7 projects. Back then, we only picked 4, but now we picked 7. And we bring in the best experts, and we teach you how to write them in 3 hours. And so it is not like a sit-back conference where you hear a bunch of speakers. It is a very intense, every single 3-hour thing is basically like a writing workshop. So you learn how to write video scripts. You learn how to write something. This year we're teaching something called UX copywriting, user experience copy. We teach you how to write emails. Very, very specific workshops, all crammed into 3 days, but it's awesome because there's only 60 of us. So we stay with you the whole time. Katie's here, I'm here, my marketing director, our copy chief, and we're just with you. Like, we're in it the whole time. The speakers are in it the whole time. We're eating together, we're drinking together, we're walking together, we're writing together. Like, we're just together the whole time. So that's 3 days. And then you go home and you apply what you learn, and you have all the skills when you leave to do the work. We also give you templates. So when you leave, so you get to go, sit, listen, learn. And then when you go home, you're like, oh my gosh, could I really write a video script? Now I have a client. You don't have to worry because we give you templates. Like, all the experts give you the how-to, so that when you return home, you don't have to recall 3 hours of training. You actually have the template that's right there that you can apply to the project. And then with Web Intensive, we also, so that's the event. This year, we're also adding on a hands-on thing afterwards. So once you're done with Web Intensive, this is optional. You can work with my marketing team to go through a whole campaign. So you just learned how to write 7 projects. Now we're going to actually apply them. We're going to give you a campaign, and you're going to write them. And you're going to get feedback on them, and you're actually going to, like, be behind the curtains at AWAI to see how marketing works. You know, when you're actually working with clients, how everything happens. So you'll get a hands-on opportunity there. And then, because I'm a big believer in the money side of things, I believe in getting big return on investment. The only way you're going to get a return on investment is with clients. So we also added in something this year called the Virtual Business Building Intensive, where we literally walk you through every single element of your business to make sure that it's awesome. We make sure that you have the right niche, that you have a good marketing message, solid LinkedIn page, good website, your fees are properly set, you understand how to close clients, you understand how to prospect for clients. We go through each single step and evaluate your stuff to make sure that we're confident that it's representing you at the value that you should. It's representing you professionally to the right audience. So really it's like the most comprehensive, intense training that you could possibly go through between the live training, the hands-on, and then the business building. It's everything you could possibly need, almost like a here's your business kind of thing. And then you go, and you spend the rest of your year working as an online copywriter, and that's it. Like basically you get through all your training, all your business building, everything right up front, and you spend the rest of the year hopefully working. So that's Web Intensive. If anybody has any questions about that, you're free to email me, askrebecca@awai.online.com, and I would be happy to answer any questions you have, tell you if it's right for you. I don't believe in selling anybody on the Web Intensive. It sells out every year, so I think we only have 2 spots left. But if you're interested, just email me and I'll let you know kind of if I think it's a good fit based on where you are, or if you just have any questions. Do we have the Web Intensive in Florida? No, because I'm in Austin. We used to move it around all the time, but we have boot camp in Florida, and so we thought, let's just go ahead and lock down Web Intensive. I take you out to kind of my local places. We've gone for barbecue, and we've had dance-offs, and we've done wine tasting, and all kinds of just Austin-y music type stuff. So it's always here.
All right. I think we need to say last call. I
think you said last call like 40 minutes.
I know, but now I mean it.
We're at 2:65. All right, guys. Well, thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for this opportunity, everybody. Really, we feel very grateful that we have this opportunity to talk to you and learn from you and adapt. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that helps us help you. We learn from you, and so this helps us adapt AWAI to continue to meet the needs that you have as those needs change and evolve. So thank you.
Hillary just wrote in, it was the companion series that helped her finish the 6-figure program. That is the case for so many people. So on that note, I hope we'll see you online February 1st.
Yes, for the companion series. And if anybody has any things that they want us to cover inside AWAI, send me an email. I'm happy to, a lot of the sessions come from you all. So if there's a topic you want us to really dig into, email me at askrebecca@awai.online.com, and I will get it on the schedule. All right, everyone.
All right,
everybody. Thank you, Katie, Pam, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Everyone.
Bye-bye.